Hey guys, it's Kelly. Before the episode begins, I wanted to mention some negative headlines have come out about one of our subjects today, Brad Pitt. These came out after we recorded this episode, but I just want to say that today's episode is about Brad in the 90s, not today. So if we get all giggly about Brad Pitt, I hope it doesn't come off insensitive about the allegations that recently came out. With that, let us take you to a different time. Enjoy the episode.
Are you lonesome tonight? Do you miss me tonight? Are you sorry we drifted apart? Does your memory...
Hi.
Welcome to Significant Lovers.
Oh my god, the episode is on.
Yeah, it started.
My name is Mel.
And I'm Kel. We are cousins, and we're your hosts. Hosts.
We're taking you through significant relationships in history and pop culture.
It's been a while since we recorded, so I feel rusty.
Kelly was in Iceland.
Yep. Then I was in Dallas. Shout out to all our Icelandic and Dallas listeners.
Which one did you like better?
Don't ask me that. I mean, I'm American, so... I mean, Dallas is cool, but it wasn't that different. So I have to say Iceland. It's a truly beautiful place. I actually checked, and we have less than 1% of listeners in Iceland.
So maybe
which
nobody.
Means we have a couple, I think.
Oh,
or no?
maybe.
Wait, why
know.
is it even showing up on the list then? 'Cause
That's
you know how
true.
you can see the list of countries?
There might be like one or two.
Yeah. Hi. Hello. Yeah, so we haven't seen each other in a bit. So hopefully we're not rusty.
Yeah.
What would being rusty even mean? Like, just can't talk.
Yeah, I fumble over my words sometimes in the podcast. I'm not always
Happens to us all.
Yeah, I'm not always a performer.
Yeah.
I'm not always loose,
Yeah. Well, we're gonna be.
Yeah.
Today we are talking about Gwyneth Paltrow and Brad Pitt. Some people might not know. People in their 20s and younger might not know that they were even together. And they might not know that they were engaged.
Wait, you told me that, but I completely forgot it.
Right now?
Yeah.
That they were planning to spend the rest of their lives together.
That's a big deal.
That is a big
Getting
deal.
engaged is a big deal.
It's a big one.
And breaking off an engagement, I've never actually known someone to do that in real life.
I know one person, and I love her. If she's listening.
Wow.
Well, I think it is a very tough thing to do, but
Yeah.
a brave thing to do, and I think anyone who does it is doing the right thing, probably.
Yes.
Because if you're having any doubts, you should call it off, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never been engaged, so I'm sure everyone has like a little bit of doubt. Should I do it? Like, maybe? I could be totally wrong, but
I don't know.
I could see maybe a little jitters, like, oh my god. But then I think you think about your partner and you're like, okay, yes, this is the right thing to do. But if you are like, ooh, I really am not looking forward to this, then yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a big deal. It's like you get engaged just because you think you're going to spend the rest of your life with someone.
Yeah.
Like, to me, it's like,
Yeah.
you're basically getting married when you get engaged.
I know.
Because you say you want to get married. It's so interesting. I was actually talking about this with a friend the other day. Like, you know how couples will talk about getting engaged?
Yeah.
And sometimes they talk about it very seriously. They're like, we're going to get engaged this summer.
I know.
It's like
why not just do it now?
Yeah.
I totally agree.
It's like, okay, if you like already have a plan that you're going to get engaged, aren't you technically engaged?
Yeah, I know.
You
You
know?
would think. Yeah.
I would be telling everyone, yeah, I'm engaged.
Woo! Yeah, I thought that's kind of odd too. When it's just so definite like that.
It's just you don't have the
I don't know.
proposal. Like,
Yeah.
you're engaged without the proposal.
Yeah. And then it's interesting when people are engaged for years.
Like Oprah.
Yeah.
Like 30 years.
Oh, that's so interesting. Yeah.
What does that mean?
What does it mean to be a fiance for that long? You know?
I know, fiance. It's such a different term from boyfriend, girlfriend. spouse.
Yeah. Brad Pitt has been engaged 4 times in his life.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
married twice.
I guess Gwyneth Paltrow 3 times.
3 times, yeah. I know. Wow. Showbiz. These actors.
I know.
What the hell, man?
Myself 0.
Yep. Why do you think, we're going to get into the story, guys, but why do you think it is that actors and singers, other celebrities, have so many marriages? What is up with that?
Well, I'm going to say a few things.
Okay.
I think, first of all, if you're an actor, I mean, you're hooking up with people all the time, making out with people.
That's true.
Being, getting into character, psychologically falling in love with different people on set.
Yeah.
I would imagine that's, hard psychologically.
Yeah.
Even though it's your job, if you're having a rough day and you're, making out with a good-looking person, I would imagine that would, lead you to temptation.
I know.
Because then it makes physical cheating feel like no big deal.
You're so right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because you are physically doing it, even if maybe mentally it's not there, but then what if it starts to be mentally there?
Exactly. If you fall in love with your co-star just in your head, and you start making out with them in a scene,
yeah.
wouldn't you still feel feelings?
Yeah. I could see that happening, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think, because everyone in Hollywood is so good looking, I would develop crushes on, literally everybody.
Yeah. And then they go to parties so often. They're drinking. Remember when we did the Robin Christian episode forever ago on our other podcast? They went to things 3 times a week, 4 times a week maybe, events. And everyone's all dressed up, and it's probably an open bar.
And everyone's throwing themselves at them.
Yeah.
They always have options. And that's the thing about kind of dating apps, which I've said before. I don't think this obviously applies to a lot of people, but I think dating apps often give people a little bit of the celebrity factor where you don't really feel as motivated to maybe tough out a relationship when you're there's 40, 50 people at the palm of my hands who I could meet up with instead.
That's so true. Yeah. Yeah. I bet a lot of them don't try to tough it out because, there's a beautiful celebrity around the corner, so,
And the other thing, too, is why I think they often, get engaged and married at, a faster rate than I think normal people is because they are living such fast lives that it's probably hard to get excited by normal things.
That's true.
So they probably need those big things like an engagement or getting married to, feel something.
It's kind of sad, but yeah.
They're
Live
bored.
Fast, die young, bad girls do it well. So, should I start?
Yes.
Story of Brad Pitt and Gwyneth Paltrow. Oh, do you want to ask me the question?
Yes. How would you describe this couple in 3 words?
I premeditated on this one, so I already have them ready. I wrote loving, amicable,
nice,
and dedicated.
Okay. Sweet. That sounds healthy.
Yeah. Yeah. And just so you guys know, I'm talking today about, Brad and Gwyneth of the past in their 20s and such. This is in the 90s, so I'm not talking about Brad and Angelina today and, their drama and stuff. I really don't know much about that, so, if I get all giggly and stuff about Brad being good looking, I'm talking about Brad of the past. He still is good looking, but I don't know. There's weirdness today, stuff going on.
There's,
so
I don't know enough about the Brad and Angelina stuff, but I think it's not great.
Yeah,
but that's a different episode.
It's a different episode. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, I know a lot of people don't like Gwyneth Paltrow. Kelly, why are you picking people that people hate 2 episodes in a row or 2 main episodes in a row? Yeah, I think Gwyneth is an interesting person. I don't know how I feel about her. But also how I feel about her doesn't really matter. How do you guys feel about her? I don't know. Yeah. But she's interesting. And she was pretty different back then. This is way before Goop and all that, you know. She was still, this is when they start, she's like an up and coming actress, very different. But it's just crazy that Brad, he's been in 3 huge couples.
Yeah.
And we are going to cover the other couples, guys. Don't worry. I know, I feel bad because people have messaged us like, you should do Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston. And
we will. But I think it's nice to cover the early ones first to give us that context going into those other episodes.
I feel like if we did the reverse, it would seem like we've run out of ideas or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, now we're scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Exactly.
Gwyneth Paltrow. But this isn't a bottom of the barrel type of thing. It's actually pretty
it's
interesting.
Huge, actually.
Yeah.
It was a big deal at the time.
They were a huge couple in the 90s. Yeah. People loved them. I watched like this video of Brad on Oprah around the same time. And I don't think it's, like, relevant to their relationship, so I didn't have anything from it. But all the women in the crowd were, like, freaking out.
Yeah.
They were, like, screaming and just, like, losing it. And Oprah even seemed, like, really excited. Like, Brad Pitt, oh, my God.
Brad Pitt!
Yeah. Brad Pitt is here. Yeah. Oh, he is.
I mean, even now, he's really good
beautiful.
looking. He's a beautiful man.
And I was talking about this with Charlie, that I feel like Brad Pitt is one of those guys that women love and men love too, you know?
I think so too.
You know? He just captures everyone. But yeah, he was with Gwyneth Paltrow, big relationship. Then, as you guys know, Jennifer Aniston, then Angelina Jolie. So he's going to come up again for sure. But yeah, Brad and Gwyneth were together from 1994 to 1997. But same with, like, our other relationships. There's a lot of stuff that comes out later on about their relationship. You know, even, like, the 2000s.
Yeah.
Them talking about it more. So it's gonna go past that.
Yeah.
But, okay, backstory time. Brad was born December 18th, 1963. So he's 58 today.
Wow.
I know. Still looks great. In Shawnee, Oklahoma. His full name is William Bradley Pitt.
Oh, middle name.
No, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
His father owned a trucking company, and his mother was a school counselor. And they moved to Missouri when he was pretty young, and his younger brother and sister were born there, and they were raised Southern Baptist. So they were, you know, like pretty normal people in the Midwest, you know, going to church. His dad owned a trucking company, so I feel like they probably had a good amount of money, but still it's like a trucking company, so it's like kind of blue collar. And this is really random, but apparently he is 9th cousins with Barack Obama.
Wow. That's crazy.
I didn't know that. Distantly related, yeah. It's like from Obama's mother's side.
They probably didn't know that.
No. It's so funny, like, the articles about it were, like, put pictures of them side by side. It's like, okay, they don't really look alike.
No.
But
I mean, 9th cousins is like, yeah, you could be 9th cousins with anybody.
I know. My parents say we are distantly related to the Baldwins, like Alec Baldwin.
Through who?
Through my dad's mom's side.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But I don't know if it's really
How do they
true.
know that?
I have to ask my mom. Because my dad's mom's, one of her sides of the family is very old. Like, I think they came on the Mayflower. And I think some of the Baldwin's family was also, like, on the Mayflower or something. And I don't know. I could be totally wrong, but Hailey Bieber.
Now that's going to be in your Wikipedia article someday.
Hailey Bieber, we're cousins. No.
Remember when you spread a rumor that we're cousins with Pete Davidson?
Yeah.
I've, like, fully believed it.
I just spread a rumor. We just felt like... I still feel like we are related to him somehow.
I know. I do,
Looks-wise.
too. I feel like we look like Pete Davidson, kind of.
Yeah, he seems like our cousin.
He does. And we thought he was Portuguese.
Yeah, but he's not.
No evidence to suggest it.
He is.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so Pete's our cousin.
Yep. I still feel like in my bones that Pete Davidson is related.
Yeah.
I mean, Also, he grew up in Staten Island. That's not too far
Not
away
too
from
far.
Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people, like, moved here and then just kind of stayed here,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
I think we should do a blood test
We
with
should.
Pete Davidson.
Yeah. I mean, Caitlin, as an insult, said I looked like Pete Davidson, so
I mean,
that means it's real.
yeah, yeah. I mean, sometimes I truly, when I don't wear makeup, I look so much like Pete Davidson. But I find it endearing because I do think
people like him.
Yeah, he is kind of cute.
Kind of cute. He is. Back to Brad.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt, guys.
He's really cute.
Yeah, he's really cute. When he was in high school, he went to Kickapoo High School.
Ooh.
Cute name. It sounds like he was kind of, I mean, I'm sure he was coolish or, like, had friends, but he definitely wasn't, like, the stud we imagined, I think, because he played tennis, he did golf and swimming. You know, those aren't, like...
Yeah, I mean...
This could be cool, but...
You could be a popular kid doing all those things.
He also did Key Club and Forensics Club.
Less so.
And I think he did some acting, too, so plays. I don't know. After high school, he went to University of Missouri and majored in journalism with a focus on advertising. But 2 weeks before graduating,
Wow.
he left university and moved to LA to take acting lessons.
2 weeks before graduating?
Yeah. Isn't that insane?
Like, he didn't graduate?
Yeah.
Why didn't you just wait 2 weeks?
I keep thinking about this. I'm like, if my friend said, like, oh, I'm thinking of dropping out and there's 2 weeks left, I would be concerned about that.
Yeah, I'd have an intervention.
Yeah.
That's, I mean,
Like, dude,
really worked out, but that's
it really
insane.
worked out for him. What? 2 weeks left?
And
2.
also, it's not like he left because he got cast in something.
Yeah,
To take
no,
acting classes,
yeah.
that will happen again.
I know. Maybe he, like, knew he was gonna fail or something, and he was just like, okay, I'm not gonna finish. But still, that is nuts. And I don't know, for some reason I imagine he wasn't that bad at school if he did all these clubs and stuff, but I could be wrong. Yeah, so he left, he went to LA and was taking lessons, and to support himself, he did really random jobs. Like, he drove strippers and limos, and he moved refrigerators, and he dressed as a giant chicken working for El Pollo Loco, which I think I remember seeing in LA. It's like a chain. So he was really roughing it, I think, working to become an actor. He did a lot of small TV roles in movies, as, like, everybody does. Well, most people. Not really Gwyneth. We'll get to that. For 4 years until his breakout role in Thelma and Louise in 1991. So he was 4 years, because I think he was like around 18. I think he was around 28 when Thelma and Louise came out. That was like his big break. And apparently he made $6,000 for that, which doesn't seem like a lot.
No.
But nowadays he makes like $10 million plus for movies, $30 million. Like,
yeah.
it's insane. So you don't have to feel bad for him.
I wonder if you put it in the inflation calendar what 6,000
Yeah.
is today.
I wonder.
You guys can pause and do it.
It's probably a lot more, but still, I don't think it would be a lot.
Yeah.
And I read, this was a New York Times thing, that Brad has something called prosopagnosia. You've heard this?
I think I have heard
that
of
he
that.
has like an inability to recognize faces.
Yeah, facial blindness,
Yeah.
they call that.
Yeah, it's like a neurological disorder. And he said that it's so severe that he often wants to stay home. And I guess people that have this can become really, like, anxious and depressed because their social interactions are so difficult. And I was reading all the comments, and all these people were like, I have this too. It's horrible. People always think I'm rude to them, but I just can't recognize faces. And they say that they try to focus on other things like voice or walking style to recognize people.
I think I somewhat have that.
Really? No
Remember
way.
when I ran into Caitlin and Shannon 2 weeks apart from each other?
Yeah.
My own cousins, who I love dearly, saw them both on the street. And, well, Caitlin I saw in the subway. Didn't recognize them.
Really?
Either of them. Till they said something to me.
I wonder if it can, like, vary. I was wondering about this because I don't know much about it. If anyone listening has it, then I want to interview you to learn about it. But when he sees Angelina,
Yeah.
does he recognize her? Or every time is he like, oh, this is a new face?
I
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or his
'Cause
own
you
children.
don't feel that way, right?
No.
Okay.
Like, I look at you, I know who you
Yeah.
are, obviously. But if I see someone
Yeah.
in public that I'm not expecting to see.
Yeah.
I don't.
Maybe you have a little bit of that. Because I remember you saying you were like, I feel like I wouldn't recognize a celebrity on the street. And I was like, yeah, you would.
Yeah.
You would. But then you did.
I know,
Yeah.
that's true.
So I don't know. But yeah, I bet. I mean, I
There's
feel like
probably a spectrum.
Yeah, I feel like everything is a spectrum. So that's the thing about Brad. And it just made me wonder. Because like, I feel like things, if it is really bad, this condition he has, it makes me wonder because he's talked about like drinking too much and stuff. Like I wonder if that could contribute to it at all.
Yeah.
He feels awkward all the time. I don't know. So, okay, in 1989, he was actually engaged to someone else.
Who?
This actress Jill Sholin, I hope I said that right, who was his co-star in the movie Cutting Class. I watched that trailer today. Yeah, they were engaged for 3 months until she started dating the director of another movie and she dumped Brad.
Wow.
I know. And he's dated a lot of people. A lot of people. He dated Christina Applegate.
I remember that.
And apparently she ditched him for another guy halfway through the MTV Movie
How
Awards.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and this is real. Like, he said it, she has said it. Like, it's a real thing.
Halfway through the award show?
She just, like, left with someone else.
Oh my god. That's crazy.
I know. She's like, I feel bad.
Obviously, it probably wasn't that serious.
I know. Yeah.
How could you leave Brad Pitt, though?
I know.
It seems like all these people are breaking up with him.
I know.
That's
It
weird.
makes me wonder, what is his deal?
I know.
Like, is he coming on too strong or something?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Personality-wise, is there something that's...
Something's weird here. He also dated E.G. Daily, the voice of Tommy Pickles.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I think she voices other characters, too.
Yeah, probably.
Oh my god.
He also dated Juliette Lewis, who was his co-star too. Okay, he keeps dating co-stars also. Like, either he has no self-control or these are PR or something. I'm like, Brad, what the heck? And I read, I don't know if this is true, but I read it in a couple of different places that he had a secret fling with Gina Davis during Thelma and Louise, but
Oh.
we'll never know. And I'll leave off there. Now for Gwyneth Paltrow. She was born September 27th, 1972. So now she's 49. And she's 9 years younger than Brad.
Wow.
She was born in Los Angeles, and she has a very different upbringing than Brad's. Her father was a TV producer, Bruce Paltrow, who produced shows like St. Elsewhere, which I've heard of, but I've never watched it. And her mother was Blythe Danner, a Tony Award-winning stage actress. And when she was young, she was inspired by her mother on stage and always knew she wanted to act. And Gwyneth had her first on-stage role at age 5. She has a brother, too, and when she was 11, the family moved to New York City. And she attended Spence School, which is a prestigious girls' school on the Upper East Side.
Rich girl.
I know. And apparently Emmy Rossum and Kerry Washington went there, too. And, okay, Gwyneth is literally Gossip Girl. A Gossip Girl character.
Yeah.
Yes. She is Serena Vanderwoodson.
I could see it. I could see it.
She really is. I mean, these things I read. So, guys, I bought these 2 People magazines for this episode on eBay. And they're from the 90s, and they're about Gwyneth and Brad. And in the articles, it describes Gwyneth as an artsy uptown girl, and said that she would discuss Russian literature with cigarettes and coffee.
Yes, literally.
And then sneak out at night to go to clubs.
Oh my god, so Serena.
I know. And she would, like, leave a note or something for her parents and just sneak out. I don't know, in case they noticed she snuck out. Yeah, it's nuts. And I got into, like, a rabbit hole just researching this Spence School, and I started reading all these, like, articles from, like, the past 2 years about them having, like, scandals or whatever, and it's very prestigious, very fancy. So she had a very different life than Brad, but apparently her grades weren't that good. And through family intervention, I think I got this from the People magazine, of a family friend, Michael Douglas, she got into University of California, Santa Barbara.
What does that mean, intervention?
I think meaning he, like, helped her get in
Like,
to the school.
paid
Like,
the school?
I don't know. Could be just a recommendation or something, or I have no idea what the extent was. But she didn't stay at UC Barbara. She left to pursue full-time acting. And apparently her parents stopped giving her money when she did this. I don't know if that's like 100% true or... But, I mean, it doesn't matter. But she started a job at an airport restaurant and rented a small apartment. The People magazine said that, the 90s People said that her family name helped her at first, that she wouldn't have gotten the role in Hook as young Wendy if Steven Spielberg was not a longtime family friend. And then the magazine said, but connections only get you in the door.
But getting in the door is the hardest part.
I know. Seriously. Like, she definitely got in the door much faster than Brad. You know?
Yeah, so many people don't even make it a mile from the door.
I know. And she had a couple boyfriends before Brad. She dated Donovan Leitch Jr., who is the singer Donovan's son. And I don't know if you remember, but I brought up Donovan during, like, the John Lennon and Yoko episode, because he's... Do you know Donovan?
No.
I'm sure if you heard some songs, you would know them, actually. Like, he's kind of like an English Bob Dylan, but he, like, hung out with the Beatles and stuff. And at first, when I read, like, I guess he doesn't go by Junior, but he has, like, the same name, and I read that she dated Donovan Leitch, and I was like, what? Because he would have been, like, 60 years old or something, so I was like, what the hell?
Oh, so yeah, I was going to say, so she dated his son.
His son.
Okay.
Yes. And weirdly, his son was in cutting class with Brad.
Interesting.
But I don't think they had met yet. So yeah, she played young Wendy in Hook in 1991, and she was in a couple other movies, but she still wasn't like a big star until she landed the role as Tracy in the movie Seven, which is where she met Brad Pitt. The night they met. Might have been during the day.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
we don't know the exact. Probably in a casting office somewhere. Yeah.
But they met on the set of Seven in early 1994. And they started dating. I don't really know like how or what or how long it took to start dating, but she was 22 and he was 31.
22, 31. That's a big difference.
Yeah. She told 17 about their relationship. She said, of course, I thought he was very handsome from the movies, you know, the way people are. But I also thought, he'll just be one of those young movie star boys. And I saw some interview from the movie Seven with Brad Pitt, and the guy asked Brad about Gwyneth and what he thought of her, and he said she was great, you know, blah, blah, and said, like, what do you think about her future? And then he said something like, for you as well, or something, and Brad just did this, like, really cute little eye roll thing, and, like, I don't know, it won't, like, translate over audio, but it was cute. So, I think this was much later, but Gwyneth told Howard Stern, our fave, because he gets the best information out of people. She said, I definitely fell in love with him. He was so gorgeous and sweet. I mean, he was Brad Pitt.
Yeah. I believe it.
And Brad said early in the relationship, I think in the People maybe, he said, I did the chasing. I was the one asking for dates.
Oh my God. Can you imagine Brad Pitt chasing you?
No.
Jeez, the ego, like, complex that I would have.
I know. Imagine you have a phone call. I mean, you wouldn't have text back then, but, like, you have a message on your machine, and it's Brad Pitt.
Oh, my God.
Being like, hey, Mel.
I would seriously...
Are you free tomorrow night?
I would feel like the most powerful person in the world.
I know.
For the rest of my life, nobody could tell me anything.
I'm, like, getting heated just thinking about it. So, yeah, they're dating. They, unfortunately, are definitely one of those couples that at the time didn't talk much about it. And one of those couples is like, we value our privacy, you know. But they were seen a lot, you know, at premieres or also just, like, on the street. There's all these beautiful pictures of them looking so cool. And a lot of people will say that they looked the same.
I see that. I just said
and
that.
Yeah, you did. And wait, have you seen this before? I hadn't seen it, but I'm just going to show you. There's this thing.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's a collage of Brad Pitt and the women he's dated, and he's had like the same haircut.
Yeah.
Or hair color as all of them at the same time.
It says, Brad, the man who likes to look like his girlfriend. And so, yeah, him and Gwyneth had, at one point, they both had short hair, kind of parted on the side.
With the same highlights.
Yeah, highlights, very sleek. It looked the same.
They both have the same eye color.
I know. And they would both wear, wear the same clothes. Like, they would both wear a leather jacket. Or, let me look at my pictures.
I do think there might be something, purposeful about that.
I know. They were so... Okay, look at this. So, they just look so hip.
They do look so
He has a
cool.
red beanie here, a sweater. She has a black leather jacket.
They do look so
and jeans.
90s.
Yeah. Look at that.
Oh my god.
They're in long leather... Well, she's not in leather, but long black coats, leather shoes, all black. They just look so cool. Ugh. There he is in a turtleneck. Well, actually, it's not a turtleneck. There he is in a sweater. Both of their hair is, tousled. That's the thing. Even here, the way they do their hair is kind of similar.
Yeah.
She has it tossed back a little bit, a little messy. He does, too. I know that people do often accidentally end up kind of dressing like who they're dating, but it's really clear with Gwyneth Paltrow and Brad Pitt. So, yeah. Guys, we are significant lovers on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
You can see all their looks.
He's obviously bleaching his hair.
Yeah. To look like Gwyneth? I don't know.
I know.
Yeah. He clearly was bleaching his hair. And here, even... Is this Juliette Lewis? Him with his ex-girlfriend? He has long, flowing, wavy hair like her.
I don't know what that means.
I know, it's kind of perplexing.
I mean, it does make you think if he's getting broken up with by these women. I mean, obviously we know Jennifer Aniston, that wasn't the way it went down, but it makes you wonder, maybe he is coming on too strong.
Maybe.
But, I mean...
It almost reminds me of, Kanye West being, not that they have the same vibe to me, but just being let's look amazing and match,
Yeah.
we're gonna step out and...
Yeah. Is he superficial?
I don't know. Because he doesn't seem like it, though. When obviously we don't know him, but when you watch interviews and when he talks about his life, he sounds pretty chill. Mm-hmm. Maybe he just falls really hard in love and he just gets obsessed with his ladies and
yeah,
starts mimicking them. Actually, this will come up way later, though.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, 1994, this is when Interview with the Vampire came out. I'm guessing he filmed it before they met in 1993. So he's, really becoming a big star. And about their relationship, Gwyneth said, "We hang out alone, read papers, have coffee, watch involved mysteries, or have friends over for dinner and laugh and play Pictionary."
Aw, cute.
Sounds nice. In May 1995, the two went on vacation to St. Bart's for 10 days. And the paparazzi was lurking and caught photos of them naked on the beach.
Are those online?
I couldn't find them.
Well, probably shouldn't be. It's an invasion of privacy.
Oh, now you just caught me looking for them. Okay, so this is actually a huge thing, and I didn't know about. That Brad was photographed with his man parts tucked between his legs. And the pictures were sold to Playgirl magazine, which published them.
Is that legal? Can you just
guess.
Take a naked picture of someone and sell it without their consent?
Maybe because it was tucked, it was okay or something. But it's still naked.
Yeah.
Under the headline, Pitt happens.
What? So that must be online. That picture.
I don't know. I couldn't find it. But Brad sued Playgirl magazine over it. He was furious.
Yeah.
And he said about this, some things have to remain sacred. I mean, come on. There's special moments and they're private moments. And again, common decency. And I guess he apologized to Gwen's Can I call her Gwen? It's weird because it's Gwyneth. Gwyn. He apologized to Gwyneth's father, Bruce, about the incident since he felt none of it would have happened if she wasn't dating him.
I call her Gwyneth. You call her Gwyneth?
Well, there's a Y, so it's like
yeah, it's
confusing. True. Gwyneth. I don't know. So, you know how I bought these People magazines on eBay. I went to look up this Playgirl magazine. You can buy it on eBay, but it's like $100.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I wasn't doing that. But, Christmas gift idea. Yeah. I was like, I need to see this.
Yeah, wait, I want to see it.
I know. I'm sure it is somehow findable on the internet, but
that is an invasion of privacy.
Yeah.
Were they on a nude beach? That's what it was.
Oh, I have no idea. All I know is that they were naked. But apparently, this whole thing is what inspired Shania Twain's lyric in that Don't Impress Me Much when she goes, so you're Brad Pitt. That don't impress me much. You know that part?
But why does that inspire it?
Because there was like a whole controversy about him having his dick in between his legs, so it looked like he had nothing. I don't know. It was like a joke, but
yeah. Wait, I guess I just don't know what it's like to have man parts like that. Like is that a normal thing to tuck it I'm guessing?
No, it's not that.
He's standing
normal,
up.
So that's why it was like.
That is weird.
Yeah.
Like his legs are closed, standing up. It's tight.
So, yeah.
Or is he sitting down?
I don't know. I didn't see it.
Yeah.
But Shania Twain said that is what inspired that.
Poor
lyric.
Brad. That's
he's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know. Poor Brad. I'm sure like he was younger. This is when he was really becoming like a huge star. So this must have been crazy. So there's another, big story that in 1995, at the Broadway opening of Hamlet, allegedly Harvey Weinstein invited Gwyneth to his hotel room and suggested in-room massages. And I guess another time he had put his hands on her during a meeting. And apparently, according to Gwen and according to other people and confirmed by Brad, apparently he threatened him and said, if you ever make her feel uncomfortable again, I'll kill you. And people have theorized this is why it took him so long to win an Oscar.
Oh, interesting. When did he win his first Oscar?
I think it was for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. But yeah, I don't know. And that's just people's theories. I have Gwyneth talking about it. Let's see what she says. This is later, though. This isn't from the 90s.
We had one instance in a hotel room where he made a pass at me. And then I really kind of stood up to him. I told my boyfriend at the time,
Brad Pitt,
who...
By the way, I love him for this.
I love him for this, too.
You told him, hey, Harvey just did something really weird. And Harvey's moves are weird.
It was weird.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Here's a guy he's like a dad to you.
Yeah, I was shocked.
When you tell Brad says, fuck this guy, I'm going to go over and confront him.
So what happened was I told him right away, and I was very shaken by the whole thing. And I had 2 movies. I'd signed up to do 2 movies with him.
Were you afraid that the movies would be canceled? Or
I
you
was
would be
afraid.
Yeah, sure, because this was a good thing.
And Brad Pitt, we were at the opening of Hamlet on Broadway that Ralph Fiennes was in Hamlet, and Harvey was there, and Brad Pitt, it was like the equivalent of throwing him against the wall, energetically. It was like...
Were you afraid, though? Was it really, great guy, Brad Pitt, for doing that. But at the same point, too, it's your story. It's your relationship with Harvey. As most guys do, they take action.
Right.
When you come home and say, Harvey just did a weird thing to me, I'm going to do something. Rawr.
Yeah.
Maybe you weren't even looking for that. Like he took it upon himself to confront Harvey.
It was so fantastic because what he did was he leveraged his fame and power to protect me at a time when I didn't have fame or power yet.
Right. Wow. It moves you.
Yeah. It was fantastic.
Good for him.
Yeah, he's a good person.
Oh, you must have just, I guess part of me was like, well, who's Brad Pitt to take up your cause? You didn't tell him to do that, but at the same point,
Oh my gosh.
it was
I
very
know.
heroic.
And Harvey was never inappropriate with me again.
Wow. I just like Brad Pitt sticking up for you.
He's the best.
Wonder what he said. Did he ever tell you what he said to Harvey?
Yeah, because he came back and told me exactly what he said.
And was he like, fuck you. You
Yep.
ever lay a hand on my girlfriend, I'm going to kill you.
He said, if you ever make her feel uncomfortable again, I'll kill you, or something like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't get why Howard was trying to be like, you might not have wanted him to stick up for
Well,
you.
I guess I kind of understand it because it is still a really tough situation that she's in. Like, she had 2 movies.
I guess, yeah.
And so, like, she's worried about what's going to happen with those movies. But at the same time, like, someone had to tell Harvey Weinstein off.
Yeah,
Like,
I know.
That's why it kept happening, because people, like...
Yeah, like, would it have been better
Turn their
if he
cheek.
just didn't do anything?
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
oh my god, if I told my boyfriend that and then...
yeah, he's just like,
Oh, okay.
Or he's
That's
just-
awful.
I mean, I'm sure he would have been like, that's horrible. But, I mean, okay, I have more to say about this, but I'm going to play another clip. This is Brad talking about it. And he's way older. I mean, this is, like, recent. So
Yeah.
let's see. This is on CNN.
So, Brad Pitt, it's obviously Gwyneth's story to tell and the reporter's story to tell, but I wonder if you feel, you can add anything to that, because you do come out as, one of the heroes of this story. You confronted a guy that very few people were willing to confront, apparently.
Oh, well, I think that's a bit much. I have a couple things to say. I mean, at that moment, I was just I was a boy from the Ozarks on the playground, and that's how we confronted with things, and wanted to make sure nothing happened further, because she was going to do 2 films. I think the interesting thing is that we, Hollywood specifically, but the workplace, men and women's dynamics is being recalibrated in a very good way. And it's long overdue. And I do think that's an important story to tell.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm glad, and it took a boy from the Ozarks to do that anyway, on that particularly difficult playground. And again, it's all part of the issue of masculinity, and that's what your new film, Ad Astra, is about. So, Brad Pitt, thank you so much indeed for joining us.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm a big fan.
I think it's interesting. Did you feel like he was kind of like dismissing it a little bit, or like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I
mean, but at the same time, you don't want to be like, yeah, I did that.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I
it's-
thought it was an adequate response. I mean, I don't think he wants to be thought of as like a hero, because all he really did was like say something to him. Because it is weird, like, he did go on to do more movies produced by Harvey Weinstein. So I don't know if he maybe doesn't want to, like, come on too
exactly.
strong, acting like I always stood up against him, because he did, he didn't, and no one else did either.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
No one did, because this guy was like so powerful, and you can understand why. I mean, if you want to be an actor, I mean, I'm not judging Brad for working with Harvey, because that's like, what are you gonna do?
Maybe this is like
know?
really totally naive of me, but I tend to think a lot of people who worked with Harvey Weinstein didn't know the extent to which
Probably.
he was like, I mean, like,
Yeah.
I'm sure people knew, but like, I don't know. I tend to think that like Brad Pitt doesn't know that he's like, he knew that he was creepy and like
Yeah.
doing these things, but like I think at the time like they probably just didn't
Yeah, probably
really
not.
know the severity of it. And then when all that comes to light, you want to be like, yeah, I always knew that he was a piece of shit, because no, you didn't. You kept working with him. I also think that if I don't want to like speak too much on this because I don't know enough, but I think Angelina Jolie was also like abused by Harvey or something, or
I'm not sure.
something like
Probably.
that. So I also feel like that's a delicate situation for him to talk about,
Yeah,
like
probably.
sticking up for one girlfriend.
Yeah. He seemed a little uncomfortable, but it seemed like he was also trying very hard to like speak delicately about it. It's a tough situation, and I know people have called out Gwyneth for. She thanked Harvey in her acceptance speech for the Oscar a couple years after this.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
I think that's obviously like a cognitive dissonance. Like that happened to her, but like you just, I don't know, unless you're in her shoes, like you don't know why you would do that, you know?
It is a weird dynamic. I mean, even though he was a creep, she probably felt like he gave me this role or whatever, you know, like I can't totally, if she didn't know the extent of his behavior, I can't totally shit on him because, I don't know, like.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we weren't there. We don't really know
And
what
she
it was
probably
like.
tried to forget that happened too.
Yeah, maybe she brushed it off. But now, later that all these people are talking about this, it's all like, it's coming out. But, yeah, very interesting. So, on a lighter note, in 1996, Brad won the Golden Globe for Best Actor for his role in 12 Monkeys. And in his acceptance speech, he called Gwyneth his angel and the love of his life.
Oh.
Do you want to hear it?
I'd like to thank Peter Dante, my good friend, and my family at home in Missouri, and especially the love of my life, my angel, Gwyneth Paltrow. You know, and this is for Roy London and Elizabeth Lustig. You are remembered.
Wow, so he's really in love with her.
Love my life.
Oh, love my life. Yeah, not love of my life.
Is he trying to sound Irish or something? Love my life. Gwyneth Paltrow.
Love my life.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Gwyneth Paltrow.
What happened? I know. She had 3 movies come out that year. The Pallbearer, Hard 8, and Emma. And people seem to say that when Emma came out, that really like made her a big star. You know, she was like pretty much on his level at this point. Paltrow's friend, Anonymous, said, "You can feel the harmony between them. They're always holding hands and kissing." So in 1997, January 1997, he proposed 2 years after they started dating. And I wanted to read a part from People magazine, the engaged one.
People's always pretty legit.
To have and to hold is the title. There was a reason to question the buzz. After all, over the past year, countless reports that Brad Pitt had proposed to Gwyneth Paltrow had run up against the same official disclaimer. No way, not now. As recently as early December, a Pitt spokeswoman had dismissed an engagement rumor as completely fabricated, and Paltrow herself had told people a while back, "When I know, I will call you." Why, then, should the scuttlebutt that spread from water cooler to website to primetime TV just days before Christmas have been any different? Paltrow's mother, actress Blythe Danner, apparently didn't believe that it was. On December 19th, when Entertainment Tonight asked her, she was adamant. "They're not engaged. I'm the mother. I know." Maybe so, but bear in mind the 24-year-old Paltrow is no longer mommy's little girl. Since starring in the critically acclaimed Emma last summer, Paltrow has established herself as a long-legged, fresh-faced, supremely elegant symbol of Gen X style. And to Pitt, Paltrow is something more precious. My angel, he called her. Blah, blah, blah. As everyone knows, it has been a good year for angels, and within hours of Blythe Danner, her mother's denial, in Mendoza, Argentina, where Pitt is filming the adventure 7 Years in Tibet, he asked for her hand in marriage. Paltrow wasted no time saying yes, or in contacting her parents back in New York's Westchester County. They're engaged, her father, producer Bruce Paltrow, told People's Mitchell Fink after hearing the news. Speaking on behalf of both families, he added, "We are thrilled. We think it's perfect." The next day, Pitt took a break from filming and flew with Paltrow on a private jet to his hometown of Springfield, Missouri, where they celebrated the engagement with his family over Christmas. Next stop, New York, to be with Paltrow's parents. While the two rejoiced, however, the announcement sent some Pitt fans into a deep mope. "I can't believe it's for real this time," wrote internet surfer Marty Lawrence. "Gwyneth is one lucky girl. Let's hope it's a long engagement. He can always change his mind." Internet surfer. Yeah, so I guess it happened when he was filming 7 years in Tibet.
Seems like they weren't talking about it that long.
Yeah. Well, I guess it was like 3 years.
Oh, that's
because they started
true.
dating in 1994. This was in the People article. It said, oh, okay, who knows if this is true? They might just get excited. They said, when he feels tense, Paltrow calms his nerves. When he needs inspiration, she is his muse. She encourages him to read and pick up his clothes. She thinks nothing of hopping in her car at 4 a.m., as she did when she finished shooting the movie Hush and driving 5 hours to be by his side, or flying 5,000 miles to be with him in Argentina while he films. And weirdly, this article, which is a couple pages, had all these quotes from his doctor on set. Like, why is that the person that's...
Yeah, isn't that like a HIPAA violation?
Why is that the person you're going to?
Yeah.
That said, they were like two adolescents in love, and that he had seen...
Aren't they not adolescents?
Like two adolescents in love. Seen them feeding each other, kissing... I don't know. Why? It's very weird to me, the doctor.
Yeah, I feel like the doctor's not supposed to, like, even it's not medical, you're not supposed to say anything about your patient, right?
Is he, like, calling? Like, what the hell? In Argentina, she said to the Los Angeles Times, I'm in a very happy relationship. We're the best of friends. And then she told Entertainment Tonight, I take the institution extremely seriously. There are no divorces in my family either, and in his either. So this is not something... We've been together for quite some time, so this is not a rash decision. And I guess to celebrate the engagement with Brad's family, they dined at Red Lobster.
Oh, the chain.
Yeah, I know. That was cute. Just like so normal. Oh, we're going to say something?
Oh, isn't that a Beyonce lyric?
What?
When he fucked me good, I'd take his ass to Red Lobster.
Really? I didn't know that. I remember I meant to say during like the Drake episode, when we talked about Lucky Strike, and you were like, it's so funny because that's a chain. He must love chains because remember he has that lyric that's like, what does he say? It's something about cheesecake.
Oh, yeah, I think so. Yeah, he must. I love a good chain myself.
Yeah. Mel used to have an Instagram called Chain Meals. What happened to that?
You guys can still follow it if you want to. I don't know the password anymore, I don't think.
No.
Maybe I could try to get in, but it was kind of satire.
Yeah,
it wasn't like
playful.
sincere.
It's mostly Chipotle.
Mostly, yeah. I had a really bad Chipotle
Yeah.
addiction. I still love Chipotle with all my heart, but I don't have it as much as I used to.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of things I haven't, like, since living here, I haven't had as much. I feel like you just change your routine.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. There was a Chipotle right near campus
Yeah.
my senior year, so I would get it like twice a week.
What chain do you go to most often these days, if any?
Probably Dunkin' Donuts, I would say.
Trader Joe's.
Oh, yeah, me too. I mean, that doesn't count.
Doesn't count. Love TJ's. I actually haven't been there in a while.
I went last week.
Wow.
A lot of pumpkin stuff. A lot of good fall stuff. Yeah.
I gotta go. I just went grocery shopping. Sorry, guys. We'll get back to Gwad. Gwad? We'll get back to Gwad. That's their name.
Is it really their name?
No, I don't think so. I just made that up.
What would it be? Brenneth?
Brennan. Yeah.
Bradeth?
Brennan.
I like Gwad.
Gwad. You know what? We can just get back to Gwad. I don't need to say what I was
No, I
going to
want
say.
to know. You went grocery shopping?
It's not interesting.
Say it. Now we're all interested.
Just that, where we live, we have to go kind of far to go to Trader Joe's, and I have to carry everything. So I feel like I need to go there not when I need, like, my essentials.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Makes sense.
More like the special things. Because then I want to get the special things. And I'm like, oh my god, this is going to break my back carrying all this. So, yeah. But anyway, back to Gwad. I guess they had a policy to never go 2 weeks without seeing each other.
That's good.
I know. And Gwyneth said, we're just not doing movies at the same time. So I finished my last film, Great Expectations, in October, and then went with him to Argentina while he did 7 years in Tibet. And I was there most of the time with him, and he's going to have a break while I do my next one. I'm going to take a break when he does his. So you really need to do that, I think, in order to, have a relationship, you know? It's too difficult to be separated. It really is. And I read from people, this is so, I don't know where they find these people, that her landlord saw her pacing and looking up and down the driveway waiting for Brad, looking anxious.
Landlord?
Yeah.
Why is he sending tips in?
The doctor, the landlord, like, you can't trust anybody.
No.
I know.
Everybody's trying to sell your story.
I know.
You gotta really be careful.
Apparently. And I also read that, I don't know if this is true, but that she would, on set, I guess, of Great Expectations, would drink coffee from a mug with Brad's face on it.
That's cute.
I know. That's cute. And Brad said around this time, I guess I'm going to be a dad with a lot of kids. And I better be a good one.
Interesting. He said that about Gwyneth.
Yeah.
It's just interesting that it did become true.
I know.
But not with her.
I know, right? And even back then, she said that her career was kind of like second to her personal life. She said, I love what I do, don't get me wrong. I've sort of achieved what I wanted to, and if I never worked again, it would not bother me. It's fun and exciting, but it's not what life's about. I think that's so interesting because now, today, she kind of has quit acting.
Yeah.
And she seems fine with it. So I guess even in the 90s, she already felt that way. So
that is interesting. Because it is like kind of was handed to her.
Yeah.
She didn't really want it anyway.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it seems like she did want it. Like she said since she was 5, she wanted to act. But I don't know. I guess she reached her goal.
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
Being in movies. And then she was like, okay.
That's true. She won an Oscar, I mean.
Yeah, I know. Well, she didn't win it yet.
Oh, yeah.
But she will. Oh, yeah, and then the same doctor, Zini, said, it's as if... I don't get what's up with this guy.
Wait, Zini's the name of the doctor? Yeah, aren't you not supposed to out yourself as someone's doctor? That seems bad.
Also, I don't get this guy. This is either completely fake or this is just some, like, man who's so excited. And I can kind of picture it, like, on the phone, just, you know, going on.
Yeah.
He said, it's as if... they were made to be together for the rest of their lives, a destiny.
Wow. What a trippy thing to be in a relationship and people are, like, saying stuff like that.
Yeah, it's weird.
But people care that much.
I know. But, like, even in our life, like, if we just see a celebrity, we, like, all text each other and we're like, oh my god, I saw somebody. Like,
yeah.
And, like, the Dumois thing, that's all people are saying.
Yeah,
They're like,
exactly.
I saw someone.
Yeah.
If you actually knew something...
Don't trust me.
I know. It's crazy. In March 1997, Brad and Gwyneth went to Russia together to launch the, I guess, Russian Marie Claire magazine for some reason.
Okay.
I know. I think Gwyneth was friends with the editor or something. Very random, but yeah, that's just something that happened. But only a couple months after that, it was reported on June 16th, 1997, that they had called it quits. And that it wasn't because of any one specific event. According to Brad's publicist, Cindy Guagenti. And a source said, it's a real relationship with real problems. This is not about any third party. This is absolutely between the two of them. And people said that Gwyneth was stunned and devastated, but who knows? But I have a video here of Gwyneth talking about their breakup.
When's it from?
I think it's from 1998.
Okay.
So it would be, you know, maybe like 6 months later or like less than a year later.
Your parents are both in the business too. I mean, how have they found it? Because, I mean, you're all over the place like this, aren't you, for a start? How have they been about it? Were you embarrassed for them at all?
Yeah, well, I told my father he wasn't allowed to see it, so he hasn't. I don't want him to see the movie. But my mom's seen it. My mom and my grandmother came to the premiere, but not my daddy. I didn't want him to go. I don't want my uncle or grandpa to go. I don't want any of them to. My brother went, and he was like, oh, my God, you know.
Are you in love again? And if you are, who with? Because there's so much speculation.
The record is that I've learned my lesson, and I don't really talk about that stuff anymore just because You know, I mean, you know, you think it's harmless and like, oh, you know, and you can talk about it. But the truth is, it actually, I think, deleteriously affects the relationship, you know, when you talk about it and let the whole world in.
Do you think maybe it's that sort of intrusion that perhaps, you know, brought the downfall of you and Brad? Because you were both up there, weren't you? Both so much in the spotlight and so much in the news.
And it's a strain on any relationship when it's so public. And we had, you know, an extra amount of pressure just because for some reason we seem to, I think, fulfill something for people. Do you know what I mean? And it was great, and he's great. He's a lovely guy, and you know, and it's like for us, it's just like, and the relationship didn't work out, and it's fine. You know what I mean? But for the world, it seems to be this huge deal, and it just kind of mystifies me because, you know, for me, it's like, you know, what, and they make such a drama out of it, and they, you know, they print all these things that aren't true, and I didn't even read any of it, but this are the things your friends say, like, is it true that, you know, you went off with like 6 bodyguards, or, you know, it's just like, come on, you know, if these people are writing these things and you think, well, let them, if it sells their papers and they want to write about it, let them, you know.
Now, since Emma, you've very much become a star in your own right. You've been thrust into the spotlight. How are you finding that people are very interested in where you go and what you do?
Well, you know, it's odd. It's sort of hard to get used to, but at the same time, it's, you know, it's nice. It's a very tight rope to try and balance. You know, it's like you don't want to give too much, you know, and you don't want to not give enough, and you want to protect who you are, but you don't want to be, you know, inaccessible, and people are following you around, and people are asking you inappropriate questions, and you have to be kind of graceful about it. It's hard, you know, it takes a lot of energy and kind of finesse, you know, but I'm sort of figuring it all out at the moment.
I just like her attitude. She's like,
I know.
Yeah, it's just kind of crazy, you know, let them write, whatever.
I know. I love the way she talks.
Yeah, she seems like she's doing okay after
Yeah.
the breakup, though.
I know.
She's good.
She seems fine. It seems like, so that was from 1998, and I think at that point she was with Ben Affleck.
I didn't know that.
I know.
Jeez.
So maybe that's why she's fine.
Oh, yeah.
But the People magazine that they have there, you know, they're so speculative, but they said there's always signs, and it said that their wedding never really got to the planning stage besides, like, I think they went to one location, like venue or something, but they didn't book anything, and then she went to Vera Wang, the wedding dress designer, but I don't think she ever bought anything or anything. And there's the photographer Nikos said that he saw Paltrow, Gwyneth, being consoled by Brad about something after leaving a London bar, like before the breakup news came out. So people were like speculating what happened, but nobody really knows. And a few days before the news of their breakup came out, Brad was seen like looking carefree and having fun out with his friends in New York. So that always happens.
I know.
Gotta say, it reminds me of Robin Kristen. Like, didn't she go to the gym or something, like, before the news came out?
Yeah, she did.
You know, people just notice stuff like that. Like, oh, she seems fine. Like,
I know.
does she know, like, the news is out? Or, like, I don't know.
It's haunting, kind of.
Yeah, it is haunting. And when they broke up, I guess Gwyneth accepted an invitation to go to the premiere of My Best Friend's Wedding, but she didn't show.
I don't blame her.
Yeah.
Take the night off.
There seems to be a lot of, like, disputes about what happened. Like, a source said he changed his mind about a month ago. He got caught up in the frenzy of getting married, but he didn't really want to. He hasn't had a second to think about what's going on.
That is devastating.
But another source said, no, he was full speed ahead with the wedding. He did want to get married, and now he's upset.
What's the truth? Those just sound very opposite.
I know. And now he's upset. So in 1999, so now this is like 2 years after, she talked about it with Katie Couric. I'm going to play something at 6:19.
Your role in Seven, I guess, was when you first sort of got your taste of big success, right? In a way?
Yeah, although, well, I would, you know, I had such a small part in that movie, and when that movie came out, it was much more about my personal life at that point.
Right.
And who, because, the fact that I had been dating Morgan Freeman. No, just kidding.
Now that's a story.
And the winner is Brad Pitt, 12 Monkeys.
As the world knows, it was that other guy she was involved with, Brad Pitt. Theirs was a match made in Hollywood heaven.
Especially the love of my life, my angel, Gwyneth Paltrow.
It was very surreal. I was just very young and very unready in many ways for that whole experience.
And very in love at the time.
Very, yeah. Madly. I didn't know who I was, and all of a sudden all this was going on, and I was really in love with this person, and I didn't know what it was just so overwhelming in so many ways, and it was just too much for me, I think,
What did you learn from that, if anything?
Oh, so much. That relationship I sort of point to as I learned the most from that experience, from that person. I changed so much after that whole experience, and in so many positive ways.
In this interview, Paltrow wouldn't even mention her former fiancé, Pitt, by name. But she's been quoted as saying there's nobody to blame, no other person involved in their breakup. She told us she now has a policy of refusing to talk publicly about her personal life. And that includes reports Paltrow and her latest boyfriend, actor Ben Affleck, have also split and gone their separate ways.
It's just unhealthy to talk about it. It just doesn't do you any good, and I totally understand the curiosity. I mean, when I'm with girlfriends sitting around, I'm like, oh my God, who's she going out with? You know what I mean? What happened? And I'm a girl, too. I completely get it, but just for my own sake, I just don't talk about it.
Aw, I like her.
I know.
Get good energy from her.
I do too.
She's like, I get it.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
I ended up watching so many interviews with her, like recent ones too, and I mean, I'll get into this later, but she just seems so herself. I know it's kind of like a vague thing to say, but especially later on, like recent Gwyneth, and I know people can't stand her because of like all her Goop stuff, and she's so out of touch, and she's crazy, but like she seems so like funny, and almost she just says what's on her mind, and she seems really chill, and I find her interesting because she seems to me like a hippie and a prep.
Interesting combination. I mean, it's like some of those like hippie type people, it's like, well, they're really rich, really privileged, it's easy to live that lifestyle, blah blah blah, and there's like something kind of fake about it, but she seems authentically herself.
She is,
which is admirable.
And I think I agree, and I think she is right. I mean, I don't know her, but from the outside, it seems like she actually did change a lot after this relationship. Like, I went on like the Goop website and I was reading the history of Goop, and I think it was after this relationship when she first made her first like gluten-free muffin or whatever, and like first started getting into this stuff. It was like pretty much right after Brad, and I wonder if she started geting into all, like mental health and wellness, all that stuff like after her breakup with Brad. I don't know. I find her really interesting. I can see why some people don't like her, but I feel like it's not really fair how much hate she gets,
Yeah, I wasn't aware she got that much hate.
Yeah, apparently she was voted, and this is even on the Goop history. It's so funny. They just like include negative stuff. I think they're just like owning it.
That's funny.
She was voted the most hated celebrity.
Really?
Yeah. And she talked about it, and she was like, really? More than Chris Brown?
Yeah.
It was like around the time of Chris Brown and Rihanna's.
Yeah, I think I can think of at least 20 celebrities that are like way worse.
I know.
Drake Bell.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I mean, this was like
10 years ago.
Yeah. This was in the 2000s. Hopefully people still wouldn't say she's the most hated celebrity, but
it seems like there's a lot of misogyny there.
Yeah, I know. And I was thinking, like, if you imagine her as a Gossip Girl woman, like, Lily Vanderwoodson, she would be the coolest one there. And you know what? Like, yeah, she is catering to rich people, and she is a rich person. But she does want to help people.
Yeah.
She does want to, in her own way, make it a better place.
I do think there probably is, she probably does do philanthropic things.
Yeah.
She doesn't strike me as someone who, like, has a temper and, like, blows up at people.
Yeah, me neither.
She seems like someone who very much thinks through everything and does things with intentions.
Yeah, I agree.
So.
She is actually so cool, I think, because, you know, she's known for being this, like, health person.
Kind of pseudo-health sometimes.
Yeah, but she is very real about it. Like, she says she has 1 cigarette a week.
Oh, wow.
It's a thing. And, like, I watched one of her videos where she talked about, like, what Gwyneth Paltrow eats in a day. And she was like, oh, you know, like, I like to have a drink after work, but, you know, it can be a bad habit. But if I do have a drink, I'm this, whatever. And, like, and she was talking about how she does really like French fries. And, like, it wasn't all actually that, like, perfect.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, some of it was. It was, like, her smoothies are apparently really expensive. But
Yeah.
I don't know. People think she's out of touch, and I understand that. But she interests me.
Yeah.
You know? And I feel like she would be fun if she was at your house or
Well,
something.
I'm wondering if her stuff is expensive because it's, like, made in the USA or something.
Maybe.
Like,
Yeah.
a lot of times,
I
like,
mean,
if it doesn't seem like it's, like, outsourced, so...
Yeah, a lot of the stuff,
I don't
guess,
know.
I even signed up for the Goop newsletter. Because I was just like, I want to get to know her.
Yeah.
And some of it probably is, I mean, I think everything is probably more expensive than it used to be, but that is true. Like, when it comes to the clothing and stuff, they want it to be, like, ethical.
Yeah.
And they want it all to be, like, the best quality stuff,
Yeah.
too. So that's why it's expensive. It's not for everybody, but if you are a rich person and you want ethically made, not bad for you things, then that's what they're trying to do. I think.
Exactly. I mean, people are just so used to, like, fast fashion that, like, they don't know, like, what the cost of like actual, like, clothes is worth. Like, if the people making it are being paid a livable wage.
I know, it's true.
So.
I mean, that's why hundreds of years ago people had, like, 3 dresses because it was made by someone in town, and, you know, they understood that's how much it cost. So yeah, so that's my Gwyneth Paltrow tangent. But yeah, back to Brad. She told the Sydney Morning Herald in 2003. So this is, you know, considerably long after.
Yeah.
She said, "I'm so lucky that I spent time with Brad. I just made a big mess about it." Sorry, I read that wrong. I just made a big mess out of it.
See, she's acting like though she was messy after. Publicly,
I know.
it doesn't seem like she was messy at all.
I know. And then I thought this was funny about Ben Affleck. She said, "He's got a lot of complication. I hope he sorts himself out."
Oh, I love that.
And then also on Howard Stern about Ben Affleck, she said, "He's not in a good place in his life to have a girlfriend."
Oh my god. Yeah, warn everybody else.
I know. And I just include that because I feel like she always says good things about Brad and not good things about Ben. So
that's telling.
Yeah.
Very telling.
Yeah.
I do not like Ben Affleck.
Me neither. She told Diane Sawyer in 2006 about her relationship with Brad. "I was very upset for a long, long time. We're able to sort of see each other and smile and wish each other well."
Nice.
Today. Professionally, I feel like both of them, I mean, they already were big stars, but really, like, blew up after their relationship. Like, after they had broken up, she won her Oscar for Shakespeare in Love. She was in Great Expectations and Talented Mr. Ripley, Royal Tenenbaums, Iron Man. But today, she's mostly stopped acting and isn't really into it anymore, and she, you know, has her company Goop.
Yep.
Brad.
Which we've been promoting, like, this should be sponsored.
I know. I have actually one more thing to say about Goop.
Yeah.
That I saw all these articles, like, freaking out that she had a candle that smelled like her vagina.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really. It's a joke.
Yeah.
It's
what does it smell like?
100% a joke. It smells like good. Like, it has, like, good smelling smells.
Well, maybe
I think.
that's what
like,
her vagina smells
yeah,
like.
maybe. But the label on it says this smells like my vagina.
I mean,
it's funny.
It's funny. And
it's
what
supposed to be funny.
And what a good marketing strategy.
I know.
Like, I've heard of that candle myself.
Yeah.
I think that's
She's
funny. Yeah.
She...
Wait, I kind of want to buy it.
I know. It's $75.
Oh, okay. I would never light that. Yeah, I do think 75.
That's
like,
too much.
Because you can
Yeah.
make candles ethically in the U.S.
Yeah,
and I think
I
they
know.
still wouldn't cost that much.
Must be in an amazing container.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's too much.
It's the name. It's really the name
Mhm.
at that point.
Mhm. It is. But yeah, Brad, after the relationship, just kept going up and up. I mean, he was in Fight Club, Ocean's 11, Troy, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Burn After Reading, Curious Case of Benjamin Button, Inglourious Bastards, Tree of Life, Moneyball, World War Z, 12 Years a
Wow.
Slave, Big Short, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and like 20 other movies I didn't name.
Mhm.
And yeah, like you said, he's produced many things. His production company is Plan B. I didn't even realize how many movies were made by Plan B, like Minari, The King,
Oh, Minari?
Ad Astra, the show Sweet Bitter, which I never watched, but I liked the book. The OA, The Last Black Man in San Francisco, If Beale Street Could Talk, Beautiful Boy, Lost City of Z, Rob,
Oh.
Selma, 12 Years a Slave, Kick-Ass, Time Traveler's Wife, The Departed, a lot of things. But yeah. And, you know, as everybody knows, in 1999 he became engaged to Jennifer Aniston. But I just find it very interesting because it seems like Gwyneth Paltrow and Jennifer are good friends. That they've, like, hung out over the years and they, like, say happy birthday to each other on Instagram and stuff. So I find that interesting.
Yeah.
And then, interestingly, in 2005, Gwyneth signed on to a movie called Dirty Tricks about Watergate. And it was produced by Brad Pitt's production company and written by Ryan Murphy, who's the writing partner of Gwyneth's current husband, Brad Falchuk.
Oh, another Brad.
Yeah, and Brad Falchuk and Ryan Murphy made, like, Glee, American Horror Story together. But I don't think the movie was ever made.
Yeah, but she seems like I have a feeling they're, like, fine now.
They are. They
Yeah.
really are. Her and Brad Pitt.
I mean, her and Chris Martin still go on vacations together.
Wow.
So, with
That's
like,
interesting.
their new
I was just going to
lovers.
mention him.
Oh, really? Yeah. What about him?
That in 2008, Chris Martin said to Rolling Stone, if your wife went out with Brad Pitt, you'd want to prove yourself. You know what I mean? And I'm sure you know this, but I probably shouldn't say this. This is for a Chris Martin episode, but that Gwyneth was like the only serious relationship he'd ever been in.
Interesting.
And that he lost his virginity at age 22.
I didn't know that. No, because I did start researching them, but I wasn't feeling it. But I'll do it eventually. I don't think I got to the virginity.
I was actually going to do a different couple for this episode, and I didn't. So, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you start it and you're like, it's a good idea, but I'm just not feeling it right now.
Yeah,
And-
I didn't feel excited about it.
Yeah,
you know?
our thing with this podcast is we let the episode pick us.
Yes.
And I mean that with all my heart. It picks us. And I think that's why we're having all these weird coincidences.
I know.
Because the episodes are literally what was supposed to come out.
Yes. It was meant to be. I know. I just decided this one morning, like, I texted you. I was like, I'm not doing so-and-so anymore. I just felt it. I don't know. She talked about Brad again in 2015 to Howard Stern, and she said, I think I was a kid and I wasn't ready. He was too good for me. I honestly do think I was too young and I didn't know what I was doing. I mean, I was 22 when we met, and it's taken me until 40 to get my head out of my ass. And then she was on the Girl Boss podcast with Sophia Amoruso, and this is the conversation. Gwyneth said, oh my god, I fucked up so many relationships, so many. I'm actually a pretty good friend and a good sister and a daughter and a mother, but I am at my potentially most vulnerable and fucked up in the romantic slice of the pie.
Yeah.
So it's taken me a lot of work to get to the place where I have a good romantic relationship. And Sophia said, so Brad Pitt, if you're listening, and then she said, I fucked that up, Brad.
Why?
I don't know.
I feel like we still don't really know what happened.
It seems like, from what she's been saying, she's like blaming herself. Not too hard, but she seems to be, you know, saying
she fucked it up.
I don't know.
So, but did she break up? We still don't really know who broke up with who.
I know.
Like,
it seems like she broke up with him.
Yeah. I think.
I know.
It wasn't anyone any one thing.
I know. It wasn't any one thing. Wasn't any one person. I don't know.
But he wasn't thinking about the marriage, but he was thinking about it all the time. We don't really
We can just
know.
disregard that. That's like two contradictory statements. But she seems like so fond of Brad. In 2018, there was an article about how Brad Pitt always looks like his girlfriends and matching their clothes and hairstyle. And this was on Instagram. Someone shared it, and she commented on it and said, "Or we like to look like him, let's face it."
Oh, that's sweet.
I know.
That's really sweet.
Yeah.
Nothing but love there.
Yeah. And she did one of those videos with Vogue where she breaks down 13 outfits from her past. And she said, there's one of the first pictures was of her and Brad. And she said, he was a, you know how you can tell when someone's going to say something else?
Yeah.
You just like hear it. It sounded like she was going to say, he was a good, I'm guessing she was going to say like a great guy or something. But for some reason she stopped herself and said, he was so nice. And then a couple outfits later, she randomly says, Brad Pitt was visiting me that day, and she had no reason to say that.
That's like Kristen Stewart.
I know.
Kristen Stewart does that. She'll randomly bring Bob into the conversation.
Yeah.
No one asked.
No one asked. She just randomly went, Brad Pitt was visiting me that day. I just thought it was so funny that, like, in this video, they asked her if she knew how many times she's been on the cover, and she said, I'm so dumb that I can't remember.
Wow.
I don't know why. I just thought that was funny. And then she started crying, talking about her dad because her dad had passed away. And then she, like, yelled and was like, you guys made me cry, you dicks. And then, you know, she was looking at her outfits from the past, and she was wearing one, like, really scandalous dress where kind of, like, the whole side was cut out. And she said, I think my kids would be so embarrassed if I left the house with my ass hanging out of something. And then she was still looking at this revealing dress and was like, what if I shit my pants? I know.
I love that.
She's funny. I feel like people don't know that.
I feel like shitting your pants in anything is embarrassing. I mean.
And then she also said, same thing, video, but she said, if I've learned one thing, it's how not to show your vagina on the red carpet.
That's a good lesson to learn.
So pretty recently, randomly, for Goop, Gwyneth interviewed Brad for Father's Day.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, in 2022, this June.
Oh, wait, that's kind of weird, because doesn't he have a lot of, like, custody things going on?
I know, it is weird. So she said, okay, since it's almost Father's Day, I'm going to ask you about Bruce, which was her dad. I'll never forget when we were engaged and he came to me one day, his eyes full of tears, and he said, you know, I never realized what they mean when they say you're gaining a son, like I'm gaining a son. What impact did he have on you? Why did you love him even though we didn't get married, unfortunately? And Brad said, yeah, right. Laughs. Oh man, everything works out, doesn't it? Yes, it does. I finally found the Brad I was supposed to marry. It just took me 20 years. And then Brad said, and it's lovely to have you as a friend now. And Gwyneth said, it is. And Brad said, and I do love you. And Gwyneth said, I love you so much. And Brad said, I mean, this is kind of long, but he says, one of the things I loved about Bruce, because he did have a profound effect on me and is still someone I think about, he really fostered your voice, your independence. He carved the way for you guys to be who you are. I think that's so important to parenting, you know? So the child is free to find out who they are and what they love and what they don't. You guys were just so free in your conversations and witty and intelligent and funny as fuck. He could be tough if he needed to be, but it would be rare, only if someone was out of line, and it would come with not a slap on the wrist, but a little drop of wisdom, and he'd let you make the choice. That seemed to be his way, just to offer you the wisdom and let you figure it out. And knowing that, to have that faith in your child, they'll get where they're going. They'll get there when they get there. I don't know. He keeps talking about the dad, but I just thought that was interesting that he says, and I do love you. I love you so much. What?
I do. That's sweet, though. It seems like they've, like, grown into new people, more mature. They can zoom out and say that they love each other, but it's not, like, the type of love where they need to, like, go backwards at all.
Yeah, I know.
Just an appreciation.
It's nice. And when I was doing this research, like, right when I was doing this came out that apparently Brad is launching a skincare line.
I saw that.
Question mark, question mark.
I saw that.
It's like wine inspired.
Yeah.
I don't know. Him and Angelina had like a vineyard or something. And he talked about this and he said, I love what Gwyneth Paltrow's done with Goop. She's still a really dear friend and she's built this empire. She's always had that in her as a curator and it's been a lovely creative outlet for her. In fact, come to think of it, she was probably the first one who got me to even wash my face twice a day. Maybe.
Wow. Yeah, they are quite amicable.
That's pretty much it. That's Brad and Gwyneth Paltrow.
I like that conversation he has about her dad too. Like, do you think that shows like such a like love that they have for each other, that like he shares in her admiration like for her dad, kind of.
That is sweet.
And I do like how Gwyneth like still talks about her dad all the time, that like
She
he's such a big
does.
part of her. I think that's really sweet, and like you can tell that she like carries him with her.
I know.
And
she
like
does talk about him a lot.
then the people around her like also like obviously Brad knew her dad, but they like carry his legacy on too. It's sweet.
That is sweet. I know, and it's nice that even though they aren't together anymore, like clearly he still thinks about Bruce Paltrow and like still, you know, remembers the family and cares about them, and that's what you hope for.
Exactly.
You know?
They seem mature in their breakup.
She's the queen of consciously uncoupling.
Yeah, exactly. She does everything with intention.
Yeah. I don't think her and Ben Affleck
No,
that way.
no. Ben Affleck seems messy.
I know.
I don't think he consciously uncouples at all.
He has problems.
I think
I
he
love that she
unconsciously
said that.
uncouples.
I know.
Ugh. Ben Affleck would be...
I know. Will we ever do him?
I want to do him and Jennifer Gardner someday. And
me too.
Him and J-Lo I would do. I just can't stand them.
Me neither. So yeah, I know. We bring like bad energy to the episode.
I know.
So people probably like them.
I know. I think a lot of people do like them. I nothing against Bennifer, the first one.
Yeah.
But 2.0.
Yeah.
I can't stand them.
I know. They got married, right?
Yeah, recently. And then there was pictures of him like crying on the honeymoon.
Insane.
Yeah.
For some reason, it's just like what?
Yeah, and all the articles are like they're madly in love. Like, I don't believe it.
I know.
I don't think so.
I don't believe it
He looks like
either.
a hot mess right now.
I know. Ugh. I'm like worried about
Speaking of people who've been engaged many times, I think J-Lo is like 6 or
probably.
7.
Oh my god. Can you imagine?
I know.
Like that many times.
It doesn't mean anything anymore.
I know. It's like the biggest moment of your life.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be.
I know.
And it happens like 6
Think
times.
of people that you know from like high school or who are now getting engaged. You like see the pictures on Instagram. It's like, what if you did that 7 more times?
I know. Like, yeah. People are like, I've waited this day my whole life. I said, yes, I can't wait to spend the rest of my life with you.
I know.
Yeah, to do that many times.
I feel like it just... Would you even cry, you know?
Who is Brad's real love of his life? Maybe it is Gwyneth.
Maybe. I mean, I just think there's less drama there, so
I know.
it's easier.
That's true.
I mean, I never thought him and Angelina would ever break up.
Me neither.
Never, ever.
Yeah.
So I'm still shocked about how things went down.
I hate to see people break up, so I was really sad to hear that, even though I don't know much about them. Hopefully someday we do. And anyone listening that is like a Gwyneth Paltrow or Brad Pitt expert, I know I probably left out a lot.
Yeah.
Can't cover everything. I'm sorry.
And as always, guys, we want you to send any voice recordings that you have about either episodes we've covered so far or potential episodes that we can play in an episode.
Yeah.
About couples. But okay, so how likely do you think they are to get back together?
She seems pretty happy with Brad Paltrow, so that's what's stopping me. But there does seem to be a lot of love there, so I mean, it's still really low, I think, because of that. But they seem like a couple that likes each other still. So I don't know, like
10, maybe 10.
How low do you put it for that kind of couple? You know what I mean?
I know, because it's like,
should it be like 3 or 10?
I know, but it's like they seem like they love each other now because they're moved on.
Yeah.
So they don't really need to like avoid each other.
Yeah, I'll say 10, just because I feel like we've said
Well, if
higher.
her husband died, maybe.
Yeah.
God forbid. We obviously don't want that to happen.
I know.
But nothing's impossible,
yeah.
so we do have to think
10.
about that. Yeah.
I bet she thinks about him sometimes.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, of course you would. See him
know.
in a movie.
Wow. Can you imagine? It must be really stressful to be a celebrity.
Oh my God.
The self-doubt I would have about not being with Brad Pitt anymore, I don't know.
Oh, I would feel like I reached the top of the mountain.
Like, how would you deal with that?
Yeah.
Like, I would have such regrets, probably.
I do think I would feel relief to not be
Yeah.
with him anymore. You wouldn't have
Really?
to worry about everybody else wanting your boyfriend.
Yeah, I guess. But what if, like, you kind of missed him one day? Or a couple days, or sometimes.
Yeah, that's
Be
true.
like, oh my God. But I feel like if she wanted him back, she could get him.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
I was thinking that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Kinda
mean,
like,
he's on the
Vanessa and
market.
Zach or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like in her court.
Yes, I think so too.
Yeah. But I don't think she wants to. She's happy.
Yeah. It does seem like maybe she was responsible for the breakup, but I don't blame her, like, for, even though it's Brad Pitt,
Yeah.
like, I don't know who I'd side with here.
Yeah. I don't side with anybody, really.
No.
You know?
Caitlin was saying today, because I did the polls on the
Yeah.
Instagram, like, will there ever be a relationship where, like, everybody sides with, like, the guy?
Oh.
Like, the majority, you know? Most of the time, the women I really like in all the relationships.
We'll try to find one.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, this one, I don't really have a side to pick.
It's just, it just happens. It's just a part of life, you know?
Yeah, it's just part of life.
People break up.
Yeah.
Well, do you want to tease our next episode?
Yeah. So, our next episode, what?
I was going to say, I think you foreshadowed it a couple times.
I actually did. Some people might put that together. Yeah, I did mention it, kinda. But it's another beautiful couple, young couple, but from the 2000s, the oddies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is that all I should say, or should I say more?
I think that's enough.
Okay.
She put a couple clues in this episode.
I know. I didn't really mean to connect, but it did.
It all connects. I have to go to the bathroom
Me
so
too.
bad. so
bad.
Let's end it.
Yeah, this was short and sweet, in air quotes. It's still an hour 37, which is long to some people. But thank you guys so much for listening. We love you.
We love you, and we'll see you next time.
We'll see you next week.
Is your heart filled with pain? Shall I come back again? Tell